guys, it's results time again. We've skipped a couple of weeks, but we're back to normal. We're going to be uploading quite a few videos in the next coming days. But yeah, let's get into the results. I'm going to be doing this a little bit differently. I'm going to be covering the actual stats first, then go through a few things that happened over the last couple of weeks that should be highlighted, and then we're going to go into the actual results for the last 2 weeks. So kicking things off, we're going to go into the pie for the last 2 weeks. So for the weekend of the month end May, okay, so taking the top slot is Dino at 15%, Shaddoll, Invoked Dogmatica, or any variant of those 3 decks. Taking number 2, Tri-Brigade as well with 11%. At 4, we have a bunch of different decks: Lich, Virtual World, Mech Knights, Dragon Link, Salad, Phantoms, Evil Twin. So quite a lot of variety on that weekend. But nothing to be surprised. I just want to make a note of this 15%. A lot of this is actually one specific player helping at a few different local events, which is Andre. He's been doing phenomenally well with his Dino Lich variant. Fantastic results. Okay, and then getting into this week's, we have other, obviously still at the top, because we do see a lot of rogue at our locals. We have Shaddoll, Invoked Dogmatica, number 1 slot, 14%, followed by Dragon Link, sharing the exact same percentage. So either one of these could have been the top performer. Then we have Lynch at 9, Virtual World at 9, Dino at 9, Python at 9, which is quite nice. We're obviously seeing a lot more representation from this because of the new support that they got, especially Mu Beta. Definitely Diviner as well, but I'm not sure how many people have full playsets of Diviner at this point, but definitely this is a deck to watch out for going forward. And then 5%, we have Tri-Brigade, Prank Kids, Burning Abyss, and Evil Twins. Okay, so then moving on to this, something new. I basically combined the stats over the last 8 weeks just to look at trends of how these decks are performing, so we can see, you know, what the meta shift is actually looking like over a long period of time. And you can see that basically Shaddoll Invoked Dogmatica has been pretty much dominating the scene over the last 8 weeks. It's the one in gray here, and then you can see week 8 is obviously 8 weeks ago, and week 1 is pretty much last weekend. You can see that it had the highest representation for most of the weeks, but even in the weeks that they are not the highest, you see quite a bit of Shaddoll Invoked Dogmatica performing. So that's definitely our number 1 deck. And then you can also see here from the higher bars within the bar graph, we can see prominent yellows, which is obviously Eldlich. You can also see prominent blues, which is obviously Dino, which is nothing to be expected. We've been seeing that kind of trend week in and week out. I think the only one that's like standing out that we didn't expect is the Dragon Link. Even though you can see a representation from the Dragon Link here, you're not seeing a hell of a lot of it, and we've been talking about this over the last couple of weeks. But getting into the next image, you're going to see something quite surprising. But basically, these are the top 10 decks of our format at the moment. Obviously, with Lightning Overdrive, that's going to shift slightly, but pretty much this is our top performers at the moment. Okay, and then getting into this image, this is obviously it would have been top 5, but we obviously have a tie for 5th and 6th. It's pretty much our top 5 decks performance over the last 8 weeks in terms of tops. So within top 3 slots. Shaddoll Invoked Dogmatica is number 1 at 31, Eldlich number 2, 16. As you can see, there's quite a big discrepancy between the two of those. Pretty much almost double the top slots for the Shaddoll Invoked Dogmatica. So they're way ahead. That is definitely the best deck, the format, uncontested. So yeah, Lich number 2, Dino number 3, just missing by 1. And then I'm quite proud to say Virtual World is sitting at number 4 with 12 tops in the last 8 weeks. We have Tri-Brigade at 11 and Dragon Link at 11. So with Dragon Link, I was very surprised when I saw this, because even though we haven't really been seeing a lot of tops from them, they've been fairly consistent over the last 2 months. And that's basically what I would say this grid is basically telling us. That this is pretty much the most consistent decks, and in rank order how consistent they are at pulling through. I'd probably like to try and get a hold of some more results, maybe even extending to top 8. I'll see if I can do that and how that would work, but I'd like to see kind of the win rates percentages for each of the decks, so we can obviously compare that as well. Okay, and then just talking about a few players in particular, obviously Andre has been performing extremely well over the last couple of weeks, topping pretty much on a regular basis, not only topping but winning a lot of the events himself. Absolutely fantastic performance. The other person is my teammate Pranav. He's been topping pretty much every single weekend without fail over the last maybe 3 months or so. And some of those obviously wins, but definitely within the top 3 on almost every single event. Absolutely fantastic results. And the other person is Pranesh. He has also been doing very, very well over the last couple of weeks, either topping or winning events on a regular basis, week in and week out. So definitely these 3 guys have been performing extraordinarily well. Okay, and then just getting into some news over the last couple of weekends, I'm quite proud to say that Birches has started up tournaments in Chatsworth at the youth center. It's quite nostalgic for me because that's where I started. I was head tier and judge there at one point, and it's really good to see that this locals is not only back up and running, but they've been highly successful over the last couple of weeks, seeing about 20 players a weekend, and I believe the events ran fairly smoothly. As you can see some pictures from the events, I think over the last weekend they had an outdoor event which was quite nice sunny day for dueling, and it seems like the guys really had fun. So definitely go out and support them if you're in Durban. It's nice to see that the Chatsworth community has Yu-Gi-Oh! Or a local store or venue again for tournaments, but even more so that it's such a nostalgic location for them to be hosting tournaments. So definitely go and support them. They're really good guys, been in the community for a long time. For me personally, thank you to AI Fest and Nexus Hub for the events over the last couple of weekends. AI had quite a big Overdrive tournament, quite well received. We have a lot of players playing, a really nice event overall. Ran very smoothly. I was lucky enough to make top 3, so fantastic results for myself. And then at Nexus, another really good event, box for Lightning Overdrive, and I think that went to Adrian. Well done to him. I took second place. We had a fantastic event, some really good competitive rounds there, and well done to Andrew for hosting that really well. Let's definitely check out these locals whenever you're in the area, especially within Randburg for Nexus and Alberton for AI Fest. Really good locals, very friendly, nice community. Definitely check them out. Before we get into the results from the last 2 weekends for each locals, I just want to plug a little bit for myself. Flex Gaming obviously does flex orders as well, so we do order singles from Troll and Toad. So definitely check us out if you need to import any cards specifically, old, new. We do pre-orders every so often when new sets release. Pop me a mail on the email listed below, and I'll give you all the information, and yeah, hopefully we can get you some really good stuff. The next order is going to be for the release of King Squad, so we're going to do the pre-orders for that. So check us out, and yeah, let's get into the results. Okay, cool. So that was the results, guys. Look out for the next couple of videos. I'm going to be doing a bunch of deck profiles because I've seen a lot of success with those videos. I'm going to do an update to my VW. I have a Drytron build, which is absolutely nuts. Honestly, I think that's going to be the best deck of the format. I'm looking into maybe if one of my teammates is keen to cover Amazement, because to be honest, I believe Amazement Trap Trick is probably going to be, or some kind of variant of those two, probably going to be a meta contender going forward. So look out for that, and hopefully I'm going to get you a talkers list as well from Bloemfontein. Nikki, his build has been doing phenomenally well as well, so talkers is also a deck that you should be looking out for at your locals, because it can blindside you, come out of nowhere, and it's very formidable and consistent. Cool, so I'm out, guys. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, give me any feedback that you have. Check me out on Facebook or any updates, and yeah, we'll check you in the next video. Cool, bye.